The Kotzker Rebbe once said that if you break a midah, if you break a certain attribute that you have, you're not left with no negative attribute, but you're left with two of them. Which means that a lot of times, let's say a person has a tremendous amount of, let's say, lust. I'll give an example. Let's say lust, and they feel like this is it's overwhelming their life. It's clouding their thought process. It's not allowing them to be free and to be healthy in a relationship, and they want to deal with this issue. So one way what you would think is Tikun Hamidos means to rectify this attribute, this natural attribute that you have, is to crush it. To really subjugate it and squash it and say, it's silly and it's nonsense and it doesn't have any value. And however you're going to do it, there's a whole gamut of teachings of how you can try to apparently crush this midah. But the Baal Shem Tov, the path of Chassidus, which the Baal Shem Tov taught, was really, you can't really crush something that's naturally cut, that's naturally you. If you're a person that's born with these types of tendencies, the purpose of life is not to crush these tendencies, but it's actually to direct them into a different direction. So everything in this world both has an underlying force, a drive, and it also has a narrative that's connected to the drive. So we have natural tendencies to certain things. Let's say a person is prone to be angry because they get agitated very quickly, or they have a lot of lust. This is a natural tendency. That thing in itself, the core energy of itself, is not negative, it's not positive. It just is. It's just one of the tendencies that we have. The negativity of those qualities is when they're directed in a particular location, and then all this anxiety that you have, this anxiousness that you have, that you're very on edge, now becomes anger, and then you lash out on anger at other people. But the actual tension that you exist with, you could channel it into something that's positive. Or if you have a strong desire for life and to give, you can channel it in something that's positive. And the purpose of the Tikun Hamidos, the way a person works on rectifying, really, and doing a tikkun, a purification or a refinement of a person's midos and attributes, is to ensure that you take those same things that you are, not to crush yourself, not to break yourself. Because that only works for a very short period of time, and then it resurfaces with a big vengeance. But really to say, I want to do tshuva shlema, if a person wants to do pure, complete transformation, is to take the tendencies that you have already naturally and direct them into a positive place. So whatever the underlying energy that you have, instead of crushing it, take it and say, how could I use that same thing and switch the narrative? Instead of the narrative being, therefore I'm chasing money, or I'm chasing fame, or I'm chasing this or the other thing, now I'm going to be pushing that same energy into something that's positive. And we can all use that. We can take the same strengths that we have and direct it into a positive location. I think that's what Tikun Hamidos would be, in a more higher, evolved way, where you take the natural tendencies of who you are and you direct them into a different location, you direct them into a different space.